Can we join your hands together? Thank you so much, sir. Please be seated. Now I would request Mr. A.V. Vijay Kumar to honor our guest of honor, Mr. Neeraj Ambani, with a shawl. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Please be seated. Thank you. So once again, I welcome you all to this FFF 24th Biennial Convention of 2022. The theme is Logistics, Embrace and Surge in the Digital Era. I would request, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause and let's start this inaugural. Can we give a big round of applause, people? Thank you so much. To take over the proceedings, I would like to welcome Mr. Shankar Shinde to welcome the gathering. So please welcome forward. Can we give a big round of applause for him? Thank you.
A very good evening. Great. So you all are energetic, charged for the 3-day session. Thank you. May I request to have our chief guest, Mr. Amritlal Minaji's telecasted on this, please? We have our chief guest for the today's session, our special secretary. Welcome, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. We have a big round of applause. The chief guest of our inaugural session, Special Secretary Logistics, Shri Amritlal Minaji. Welcome. In fact, we miss your kind presence in person, and we would have been happy to have you here, but we understand the challenges, the difficulties, the last-minute plans, and nevertheless, we have the digital era in which we can connect anywhere across the world. So thanks for being here with us today to witness this function. Welcome, sir. At the same time, so we have our guest of honor, Shri Shashikiran Shetty ji, All Cargo Group Chairman, and also the Chairman for the NITI Education, one of the biggest institute, the largest national institute. Welcome, sir. It has been great to have you here. You are our role model for our industry. And I think so, a lot to learn. And one of the most important point, where Mr. Shantanu ji has always been sharing us, that this is the only company who has bought the global companies. So it's a proud moment for us. And as an example, that we should not sell out the companies, but go and buy global companies. So thank you, sir. The role model you have set for us, and we will follow it. Thank you. We also have with us our guest of honor, Shri Neeraj Ambani ji. Neeraj Bhai Ambani ji, welcome to the event. The Group Director of the Supply Chain. Thank you for being here with us. My colleague, Shri A.V. Vijay Kumar ji, IPP Immediate Past President and the convener of this convention. We have with us Mr. Dushan Mulani, Chairman-elect. So we have a succession planning for the 6 years, where we have immediate past president, chairman, the present chairman, and the future chairman. Thank you all for being here with us. All the dignitaries on the dais, the dignitaries of the dais. We have our CSLA chairman here, Mr. Captain Deepak Tiwari ji, thank you for being here, gracing the occasion with your presence. We are really happy to have you here, and we will surely look forward to hear you at the session. We also have here the Vice President of NSIDC, Mr. Abhishek Chaudhary ji. Welcome, sir. We would like to hear you and a lot of efforts you have taken for the industry's development. Thank you. We have our FFA advisors, Mr. R. Radhakrishna ji, Mr. Shantanu Badkamkar ji, Mr. Debashish Datta ji, then Mr. Ramakrishnan ji. Thank you for being here with us all the time, guiding our FFA, which has taken for the different heights for FFA to achieve. Special guest, Mr. Samir Bhai Shah is also here with us. Thank you, sir. We missed you. And we have international delegates over here. Thanks to the sponsors who have made this event possible for us to make it a grand event. At the same time, we have our delegates' family members here. So it's a great time to have this event with a mixed function of business, come entertainment, and the 3 days event. I think so we'll be having a great time for a great opportunity to network across India on a common platform. On this occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrating 75 years of independence, FFA is also celebrating its 60th years Diamond Jubilee function. So my dear friends, it's a good opportunity. We have a proud moment, and we look forward for this great celebration on our 2nd December. I salute you all members for the important role you have been playing, and not only in regular course, but also during the COVID pandemic situations. And the situation was different, even different than what the wars are fought. Even after coming home, it was a risk for a family at home. So in spite of that situations, we have played an important role and ensured that the supply chain is kept movement. And the whole ecosystem is consistent in regular course. So that was a great thing what our members have played, and we are really proud of it. While the nation was at rest, we had our players ensuring that at the forefront, that the whole supply chain, timely supply of oxygen, timely supply of medical equipments, timely supply of medicines are done, and the lives are saved across the country, across the globe, across the whole economy. So it has been a remarkable achievement for our industry, and that is where the government have really started recognizing the important role played by the logistics industries. My dear friends, logistics is one which does not understand languages. It is the one which has no borders, and it is one globe, which we should look at it. We hear the new buzzwords which come across is I4.0, I4.0, which is the industrial revolution of the fourth industrial revolution. Going back in the 18th century, 1750, we had the industrial revolution from Britain, which was initiated on the manpower and the horsepower, where the human resource played an important role with a limited supply of energy. Going ahead with the time, the first industrial revolution, which began in 18th century with the steam power and mechanism of production, what before produced trade of simple spinning wheels. In the first revolution, the manpower or the horsepower was replaced by the machines powered by using chemical energy to transform water into steam. The second revolution, industrial revolution, which began in 19th century, through a discovery of electric and assembly line with the mass production. In the automobile sector, it played an important role, which partial step of conveyor belt significantly faster at a lower cost, and the third revolution industry with the partial automation using memory, programmable controls, and computers. So in the third revolution, we had the computers introduced. We talk about digital, our theme of digital. So it's not that the computers are today, it has been in existence in the industry. So 20th century played an important role, but the development on this industrial revolution in the fourth industrial revolution would take it to a higher heights, to a different level. And the fourth industrial revolution is characterized by the applications of information and communication technologies. So with this, the computer technology, machine learnings, artificial intelligence, networking, system components and people communicating via network, and production in completely autonomous form. And this has the power to change the way that the people work. So I4.0 can pull individual into smarter networks. It will lead to the potential of more efficient working and the digitalization of logistics industry. My dear friends, so in this industry, the fourth revolution industry, there is going to be a huge potential and more role for our logistics industry to be played. And that is where we have to identify as to how we could take this forward. And it is only the logistics industry which has that opportunity. It is not a particular industry which may find ups and downs in their own product life cycle, but logistics industry, which is the only industry which will keep growing at a faster speed with the introduction of new technologies and adapting new technologies, implementing new technologies, and that is where the power of logistics industry will come from. This high professional logistics will be proud of its root as a custom broker, as a logistics service provider, or the freight forwarder. And it lies an opportunity for us, among us, who are willing to make the first move and snatch the first opportunity. The industrial revolutions are disruptive. And always when there is a disruptive, we always find different ways of working, the innovative ways of working, and the different opportunities derived from it. So let us identify those opportunities. And during this convention, let us start flowing the ideas with the discussion, interactions among us during these business sessions, which will be led upon my colleagues in detail as to how the business sessions will go. And I hope this would be an opportunity for us to collaborate, support each other. We are there with the government representations to protect our industry, to see how the trust building can be done among us. And that is how we foresee that a cooperative model among us is very important to come together and do various asset sharings, share the knowledge, and develop in joining hands together. The government's vision with Vivad Se Vishwas and the man who envisioned a bright and a digital India, our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has envisioned this in all our people with the quote, IT plus IT is equal to IT. And with this vision, when it says IT plus IT, it's Indian talent plus information technology, which is equal to India tomorrow. So with this government vision, he did not stop over there and talk about the desirables. And with desirables, there has to be a stability. So adding on to this desirables plus stability, you pass on to a resolution. And he did not stop over there. And he said the resolution cannot be achieved without the hard work. So the third quote came out with resolution and the hard work combining, getting to the success. And that is what we need to achieve for our success. So let us get together and work towards the vision of our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Ji Modi. He is the one to ignite that fire and inspire to do more for ourselves and for the country. Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Vikas, and that will also come. This time he added is Sabka Prayas. So this Prayas is very important, which came the new thing, and we all have to work towards it, getting it together, participate equally, contribute to achieve the government's vision. Transformation of whole economic gets into development with a lot of opportunities. The custom brokers, the logistics service providers, the whole of the sector of the supply chain stakeholders come together, tap the potentials, and the potentials are there, but we need to be reminded about our strength. And to activate such type of potentials, we have to have such types of conventions. To awake that instinct, we need such type of conventions. So let us work toward there. The government's vision of achieving 5 trillion economy itself is a big vision, which provides a lot of potentials, and let us all work towards together in achieving the same. So my dear friends, I'll not take up on this lot of time, because the next 3 days you will be hearing up on this on the technology drive, because the business sessions have been scheduled in such a form that we talk about the reforms in the customs, the government agencies, how the digital will take place, and to fill up those gaps, how the training and skill development will play important roles. We will have international perspective, global perspective, and we'll have the leaders sharing their knowledge on this. And I would like to thank you all for being here to make it a grand success. I can see it's a full house over here, and that is our strength, which we should really acknowledge. With this, I thank and welcome you all for the event and wish you all the best for the next 3 days, and have a great time and enjoy the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shankar Shinde, for the warm welcome. And to introduce about our theme, I would like to welcome our immediate past chairman, FFAI, Mr. A.V. Vijay Kumar. I would request, ladies and gentlemen, join your hands together and welcome him forward. Thank you.
Respected Sri Shashikiran Shetty, Mr. Neeraj Ambani, my colleagues on the dais, and industry stalwarts sitting in this hall, and my custom brokers colleagues, freight forwarders, other logistics stakeholders. A very good evening to all of you. Yes, in Chennai, after 17 years, we are bringing this convention. We had our last convention in Chennai in 2005, sorry. And after 2017 at Cochin, we were not able to conduct our convention because of COVID, 2020 and 2021. In between, we had our international event, the Fiat World Congress in 2018. We had an opportunity to conduct this program in Chennai. We are very happy. Our team from Chennai, the whole Chennai Custom Brokers Association team is with us. My role is to introduce the theme of our convention this year. This is our 24th biennial convention. It's my pleasure to stand before such a large participative gathering and present the theme for the 24th biennial convention of our Federation of Freight Forwarders Associations in India. World is no more what it was in the past and will never ever be what it is today, and change is the only certainty. Though we had a tough time and resiliently overcome the challenges of the pandemic for the past few years at certain cost of human life, business, economy, and our lifestyle. We have learned many lessons. As much as there are negatives, we should add the positives and move forward. Greatest lesson we had learned is it possible to be progress even if physical presence is restrained so long as we are digitally enabled. Most of us delivered result even during the worst of the pandemic days and were locked down to the confines in our walls, of course, at the risk of our own employees whose presence were required to physically handle cargo. The relevance of the logistics was predominantly realized during the pandemic days as life cannot move on unless we move that we had to be moved. This prompted us to focus on theme on logistics, which is our nerve center of any action or activity. Logistics is not a standalone operation, but a systematic planning, process, and progress. Backbone of our logistics is organized execution of the entire spectrum of activities, origin to destination. With the lessons that we have learned in the past few years of tough times, there is a need to reshape our business model and align with its new strategies. It will survival and for our business. Strategies and reshaping so planned are to be embraced and adopted, as otherwise it would be meaningless for the effort that will produce no result. We live not in a stagnant atmosphere. We live not in a slow-moving world. We live not in a sluggish market, but a dynamic and surging environment. The speed of change is phenomenal, and unless we propel ourselves to the next level of the energy, we will be left behind. Hence, we shortlisted the logistics, reshape, embrace, and surge. It is possible to enter such a domain if we are not digitally enabled and limit our mind of conventional methods. If the government, which normally expected to move slow, can surge ahead with digital innovations, can business and industry play a secondary role? In fact, business and industry should be ahead to write the destiny of the economy with the government providing support mechanism. Here we have a government willing to be supportive and the industries in general and our logistics trade in particular enthusiastic to accelerate the progress digitally. It is this background we decided to dedicate this year's theme as Logistics, Reshape, Embrace and Surge in the Digital Era. My words are only a teaser for what is in store for the next few days, and you will enrich yourself with the wisdom that will be shared by the panel of speakers, experts in their own merits. I appeal to all of you to enjoy the entire event and benefit not being the passive participant, but by active participation. So we are having the next 2 days a full packed business session, 4 business session tomorrow, and 3 more business session on 14th with industry leaders and professionals from government, from private, and all other spectrum of logistics we invited, and they will share their thoughts, and it will be very useful for our members. With this, I thank you for participating in a large gathering here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. A.V. Vijay Kumar. And next, to deliver the keynote address, I would request our guest of honor, Mr. Shashi Kiran Shetty, to come forward. I would request ladies and gentlemen, join hands together and welcome him. Shashi Kiran Shetty is the chairman of All Cargo Logistics Limited, ECU Worldwide, NV, and Gati Limited. A logistic industry veteran with over 3 decades of experience, he has built what is now India's largest integrated logistics powerhouse. The more than $2 billion global logistics conglomerate, India operates in 180 countries and has an extensive reach covering more than 19,800 pin codes and 735 of 739 districts in India. He has also been appointed by Government of India's Ministry of Education as the chairman of the Society and Board of Governors of the National Institute of Industry Engineering, NITIE, one of the India's leading institutions with postgraduate courses in management and industrial engineering. For his contribution to Belgian trade and industry, Mr. Shetty was awarded the Commander of the Order of Leopold II by the King Philippe of Belgium in 2015. He has also received an honorary doctorate from Mangalore University and numerous other national and international recognitions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to invite Mr. Shashikiran Shetty to deliver his keynote address. Can we all join your hands together once again and welcome him forward? Thank you.
Honorable President of AAAI, FAI, Mr. Shankar Shinde, my dear friend Mr. Ambani, Dushyant, Vijay Kumarji, friends sitting here in front of me, and all of you who I know, some of them, and may not so some of you. It's truly a pleasure and honor and delighted to be here among all of you this evening. I must compliment the AAAI for putting up this remarkable convention after the COVID. I think it's the first one of the industry, at least what I have attended. And I'm extremely pleased to note that the participation has doubled from the last time. And a big, big applause to the committee who have put to this convention together. You know, like said by Mr. Shinde, our industry has become a phenomena in the supply chain and the business scenario in the world. We have always been underdogs. We've been always someone who have not been that much recognized by anyone. I must be very frank. We've always been seen as an intermediary. We are here to make money, and we are here to do this and here to do that. But today, the world has realized what logistic industry means, particularly post the digitization, e-commerce, and with COVID. The recognition for the industry has gone many-fold. Earlier, it was always spoken about cost. Logistic industry in India costs 14% of the GDP, and so on, right? How do we bring it down? Yes, there were areas for improvement, like in any industry. And this industry also has carried a lot of legacy of the past. We probably may not have changed the way faster enough in some of the industry-related issues. But all that also to do a lot with the regulations, infrastructure, and lack of connectivity. And all that is now changed. And if you look at the theme itself, and this theme has been around now already last 4 or 5 years, that how our industry can become digitally facilitating, enabling, integrated industry to the entire supply chain. I think the industry is not today is working in isolation of one services, because we all understand that offering one services, we cannot survive. It's a very competitive world out there. There are tenders, there are negotiations, there are reverse bidding, and all sorts of things the customers play on us to get their objectives. How to get the best deal and the best rate possible. And we have seen in the case of shipping industries, last 15 years, many companies went bankrupt. A lot of mergers acquisition happened. And so much of capital was burned. And finally, the shipping industry became a few companies, a conglomerate of few companies, and an opportunity which came about to reverse entire losses of so many years. And I don't hold any grudge. Yes, this is an opportunity that came along, and every industry does that, and that's what business is all about. As the markets are now stabilizing, the freight rates have also started coming down. And I am hoping that it won't reach to that peak, but I also hope that it should not go down to the level where it used to be, because that's not good for any industry. So this is a little bit on the COVID and pre-COVID, and I'm so glad that I am part of an industry which has really contributed for the mankind in bringing about the goods to the plants or to the doorstep, where it is absolutely essential to bring. And India, for example, thanks to the container freight station business, which we are one of the market leaders, we've been able to evacuate containers from the ports into the CFSs and kept the port empty, so ships can come and discharge, ships can pick up and take their export cargo. Look at the rest of the world. America suffered, even suffering today. Containers were stranded in the ports for months together. Warehouses are full. There is no trucks available. Europe is the same situation. Asia, many countries, the same situation. But India went absolutely fantastic. And the credit goes to all of you. I also wish to, once again, I may not be anyone to say this, but many of the stalwarts are sitting here in the front bench, and many of you sitting behind. The tremendous work that has been done by the industry associations, Shantanu, Samir, Captain Tiwari, all of you, so many of you are here, and have done so much of work with the government, with the agencies, with the customs, with the ports, to bring about our problems and bring about so much of changes. I was driving in the JNPT port the other day. The roads have become like, where you can land an aircraft. It's so beautifully, the port is now connected, which has been such a misery for so many years. The container freight stations have transformed. The warehouses are getting transformed. The ports have transformed. The airports have transformed. And all this is also partly because of the relentless effort that has been put by these gentlemen over the years. And I truly want to acknowledge all of you and the association for a tremendous work that is done. Well done. I also want to say about the aspirational part, the positive part, and that is about our own country, India. And I think today we stand as a country in a great position of advantage. We have one hand China creating problems for the world. On the other hand, the capitalism is trying to dominate. And I think India is in a great position to leverage capital into our country and manufacturing into our country. And we already know that we have a very young working population. And we need both. We need capital, we need manufacturing, we need services, otherwise India has no future, as all of us know, because such a big population, how are we going to manage without jobs? So, and fortunately also for India, we have a tremendous leadership who's so passionate, so dedicated for the country, and so selfless, and so many transformational and courageous decisions have been made over the last 7-8 years, and brought about so much of stability and reputation to our country in the corridors of power. So what more we can ask for? We are in an industry, we are in a place, and we are in a situation where we should be very excited about, be very positive about the future, and work towards making India 5 trillion. Why only 5 trillion? Make it 15 trillion over the next few decades. And I wish India, all the best on this 75th independence, which is around the corner. And I hope that this will happen in our lifetime. I also wish to take a very strong message to the corridors of power, to the Indian industry, manufacturing industry, that the Indian manufacturing companies to support Indian freight forwarding industry, logistic industry, like how Germans, Italians, Americans, British support their companies when they go abroad and open their factories. I think it is very important. The logistic services, which I just spoke about, all of us know how important it is. And this is an industry which is creating tremendous amount of jobs as an industry. Probably the highest number of employment is generated by the logistic industry if you count everything together. I even request the government that there should be a policy related to the logistic industry, the supply chain. We are supporting supply chain. For our industry, there need to be a certain amount of policy. Our policy is always, we never got the recognition. There is no policy document written about the logistic industry. There are bits and pieces here and there, but I think that need to be well defined. End of the day, obviously, it has to support the trade and the industrial development of the country. We are a part of that. We are supporting that. Our services are related to that. So I think there needs to be a policy written about how the logistic industry can prosper. While all this is great, we also must recognize one of the biggest risks, not only for the logistic industry, for the whole world, is about the global warming. And we all see that around us, what's happening in Europe, what's happening in many other parts. The planet is warming, right? The planet is becoming hotter and hotter year after year. So that's the biggest risk. So why I'm saying this, we all are aware of that. The reason I'm saying is the shipping, logistics, supply chain are one of the biggest pollutants in the world. We have an obligation to our planet. We have an obligation, responsibility to our future generation. So we need to, among ourselves, resolve that how we can become less pollutant or work with the government of India to achieve net zero as per the target of 2050 or 2060 or something like that. How that small baby steps, the little bit contribution each one of us can make to make this world a better place. So I wish AAA will take a note of this and start some awareness workshop or ongoing discussion about how we can reduce pollution in from the logistic industry point of view. As all cargo, what we are doing is we are today in the process of adopting ESG. I'm sure many of you are aware what ESG is. ESG is environment, sustainability, and social, and governance. Governance, of course, is very important for the sustainability of the organization as a whole. The social part, we are not here only to profit. We are a part of the society. We have to think about how we can influence our society through our business. And like I said earlier, the environment itself is very important for every business and for all of us. So ESG is a measured approach. There's a science behind it. I'm very happy to say that we have appointed KPMG as our global partners, and we partnered with NITI to train our people in the ESG program. And I would welcome all entrepreneurs to use the knowledge what NITI has in your own organizations, how you can measure this, how you can contribute towards ESG as a very important initiative in the future. Any of you who are willing to raise money in the capital market, there are a lot of funds who will not invest in a company if you're not ESG compliant. And by the way, there are also debt you can raise if you are ESG compliant at a lower rate. So there are incentives also available for that. The other thing we are doing in All Cargo Group is about diversity, is about offering more and more opportunity to the women, to the underprivileged, to the deprived. We came up with a very innovative idea to offer employment for refugees. You know, due to the war and due to many reasons, there are a lot of refugees, particularly in the European side. And we partnered with an NGO based out of London. They bring the qualified refugees who have a work permit to work in Europe, and they don't have a job. And they may not have a required skills, but they have a hunger, they have a desire, and they have a need. So we are trying to identify such people to come and work for our company. And we are in the process of hiring 4 people in Germany right now. The women, as all of you know, they are 50% of the world population, and there are a lot of intelligent, hardworking, smart, empathetic ladies out there who can be brought into a place, not only at a lower end jobs, also at the board level and at the senior management level, which we are trying to do. Gati Shakti, I don't want to talk more about it because all of you know what Gati Shakti is all about. And I think it's a good opportunity also to add the opportunity in our own industry with faster decision making about infrastructure, policy changes, and whatever support that can come from that entire initiative. Asset monetization is another major initiative by the government where there will be a lot of assets probably available in the future for us to participate in, which can be used for advantage as the business grows. The other very important thing is, with the industry being healthy in the last couple of years, all of us need to think about invest more and more in process optimization, in adopting technology, connectivity, easy data transfers, interchange. All these are going to improve more efficiency, and it is highly desired in the years to come. We just spoke about BBA. Samir Bhai has said about a BBA program that they are launching in Ahmedabad, and also connecting that with the apprenticeship is a very important initiative in my point of view for the future supply of talented and knowledgeable workforce in our industries. Lastly, I will not be doing justice. I've been, it has been introduced that I've been appointed as the chairman of NITI, which is something came as a very big surprise in the middle of COVID to me. It happened in 2020 October, and it's almost getting to be 2 years now. And there are a lot of improvements that has happened in the area of infrastructure, in the area of overall governance, in the area of recruitment of a lot of professors, a lot of positions were vacant. A good network of alumni that has been taking place. And there is a proposal which is now already approved by the cabinet. It is in the parliament to make NITI as the IIM of Mumbai. And that will be a great outcome. I don't need to say Mumbai is such a large city with 20 million people or more. And we do not have a very good management institution. If NITI becomes IIM of Mumbai, which has got a 65-acre campus next to IIT Mumbai at Powai, one of the most beautiful scenic campus which you will see. And I hope that even if it doesn't happen in my chairmanship, as long as it happens in the near future, it will be a great thing to happen for the city of Mumbai. NITI is also partnering with one of the topmost universities in America called Thunderbird. Thunderbird is among the top 10 American management institution, which is teaching global management. It is not like a focused management. It's about how to manage global companies. They're apparently number 1 in the world in teaching a global management program. And NITI is now becoming a partner with them on their online program and bring about syllabus and research work from there. And there will be exchange programs between Thunderbird and NITI. And I really would appeal to all of you to take advantage of the NITI campus for your management development programs or recruiting young talent for your organizations, which will be really beneficial. And we have, as All Cargo Group, we have hired about 8 of them in this term. Also in All Cargo, what's very important for us is the interest of all the stakeholders, our customers, our employees, our shareholders, and our partners in every action that we take. And why I'm saying this is I think it's very important for the sustainability, for a culture building, and for the future of the organization. So I just want to leave these thoughts. And like I always say, empathy is in the core of everything that we do. Thank you very much for inviting me here today, and it's been a pleasure and honor to be here. And thank all of you for all your support to the group in all these years of our journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shashikiran Shetty. I hope once again we can give him a big round of applause for the wonderful speech. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, Dr. Kunio Mikuria couldn't join with us today, but we have his pre-recorded video. So I would request everybody to make an attention and we can have the AV. Dr. Kunio Mikuria has been Secretary General of the World Customs Organization, WCO, since 1 January 2009. He provides leadership and executive management for the global customs community's priorities, including developing global customs industries, standards, and tools, securing and facilitating global trade. Can we have the AV, please? Thank you.
Greetings from the headquarters of the World Customs Organization in Brussels. It is a great pleasure and honor to speak at the 24th Biennial Convention of the Federation of Freight Forwarders Association in India, or FFFAI, and I would like to thank the organization for inviting me to speak. Custom business partnership is well woven in the fabric of the WCO work, and of course, freight forwarders and the custom brokers are our immediate partners in the private sector. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we worked together to keep trade supply chains open to ensure the smooth cross-border movement of goods, including essential goods such as medicines and vaccines. At a global level, the WCO consulted with business through the Private Sector Consultative Group, or PSCG, to identify the bottlenecks and jointly sought solutions, often involving other international organizations that represent transport and trade sectors. During the consultations with the PSCG, where you are well represented through the International Federation of Custom Brokers Association or International Federation of Freight Forwarders Association, we have identified that both customs and the related logistic industry should leverage the benefit that accrues from the digital era. This is obviously the theme of this conference. Digitalization of custom procedures keeps the economy competitive, and this is how India has been recently ranked highly in improving business climate, especially in the area of trade across borders measures for the benefit of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. I have always admired Indian efforts in going beyond the WTO Trade Facilitation Agreement by fully applying the WCO instruments such as the Revised Kyoto Convention and the Safe Framework of Standards and following best practices. India has also used National Committee of Trade Facilitation involving the private sector. Now I look on India to show us best practices, especially in the area of digital transformation with its extensive pool of expertise. Indeed, digital
Thank you so much, Dr. Kunio Mukoria. Next to deliver the address, I will request Mr. Neeraj Natumbai Ambani. So can we join his hands together? People, come on everyone. Mr. Neeraj Ambani is a group president of supply chain in Reliance Industries Limited for more than 20 years. He is leading the integrated supply chain for RILs, consumer business oriented towards new commerce. Before this, he has spearheaded the setup and development of the supply chain for Geo. He has always been the front runner for supply chain design and execution for RIL group companies, be it a business and a supply chain transformation in Petchem, Telematics, and Reliance Infocom or supply chain for RIL. Being a supply chain enthusiast, he has represented RIL in the Planning Commission 11th 5-year Plan Logistics Working Group and has been a long-standing member of the Council of Supply Chain Management. Prior to join RIL, he was Executive Director of Tower Capital and Securities Private Limited for 5 years. He is a member of Young President Organization, an entrepreneurs organization where he was held leadership positions. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Finance Investment from Babson College, USA in 1995. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all together welcome Mr. Neeraj Ambani to deliver his address. Can we all join our hands together once again? Thank you.
Firstly, a warm welcome to the convention. This is my first time here, and I would really gladly say that, I'm really very happy with the kind of warmth in which I've been welcomed. So thank you very much. Thank you to the entire committee, Shri Shinde, Shri A.N. Vijay Kumar, Dushyant Bulani, and all the AAI office bearers here, as well as the advisors. So thank you very much. Thank you also to, it's very glad to share the stage digitally with Shri Meena and Mr. Chaudhary here physically. So thank you very much. And so let me go straight into what, I had in mind. I think Shashikiran has given us a very good, overview. So I'm going to ensure that I don't, repeat that and try to give a different perspective. And what is that different perspective? From a shipper point of view. So if I really look at where we are today, I've had fortunately a lot of interactions across multiple business categories. So whether it was industrial and petrochemical, whether it was telecom and capex, or whether it is now retail and agri. I've had a good fortune of having a lot of friends in the industry. And one thing really what struck me is the kind of depth of expertise that you have in different areas. What do I mean by that? When I meet different forwarders, different customer house agents, I find one thing very unique is that when it comes to the respective port, when it comes to a respective category, when it comes to respective regulations, or even the best practices, I actually learn a lot from you. So really thank you very much for actually being there when, as you heard in the introduction, I didn't come from the industry. And I actually learned by interaction through my business partners. And, that's really where I learned. But now where is it that I see this industry moving? I think that's something which I think all of us are seeing, all of us are experiencing. But one thing which is very true is that any kind of supply chain, and when we say supply chain, we generally talk at a company level, we talk at a product level. But how about looking at supply chain at a country level? If we want to transform the supply chain of this country, then we need to look at it exactly the way we look at it at a business level. That means you actually have to get into the operating processes, you have to actually get into the operating design, and trying to see how can you serve both the factory as a customer, the manufacturing as a customer, the trade as a customer, or the end customer as an individual customer, how can you actually service that product to that recipient, whether in a cost-effective way, whether in a speed way, or as Shashikaran just put it, with the right environment and compliance. I think that's really important. And I think one thing which I notice really, which is quite amazing, is that the kind of attention which supply chain has got is now percolating into actual infrastructure projects, actual regulatory projects, actually technology projects. And for me, I've, heard, read, experienced recently a lot on the PM Gati Shakti program. And I can say very well that this is a fundamental transformation which is happening in the country. Something which not only our generation, but the next generation will see. And why do I say that? The key part which I took away from this entire approach, and not only just the PM Gati Shakti, but also the National Logistics Policy, is that fundamentally the government and all of us can really look at trying to improve India as a supply chain and not individual businesses. And I think that's something which I really took out very, very strongly. What do I mean by that? Now let's just look at it. If you're looking at it from any company point of view, how would you really go about it? First, you have to look at your infrastructure. Two, you have to look at your connectivity. Third, you have to look at in terms of your actual quality of people, partners, etc. And then you get into the technology. This is something where in every area there is a fundamental change. And one of the aspects of the infrastructure is that today we are not talking of only connecting, let's say, Bombay to Delhi through a DFC. We are talking of improving every part, every kind of connectivity, every kind of trade lane, whether that's on the EXIM side or whether that's on the domestic side. And many of these projects are created with a completely viable PPP models, and also with a lot of vision from different parts of the government. And I think finally, if you look at the most covered example in the 19th-20th century was the entire highway project in America. I can say very clearly that the PM Gati Shakti program will actually do much more in India to ensure that manufacturing is not concentrated in cities and not concentrated in industrial areas, but actually production, manufacturing, merchant businesses can be set up anywhere in India, on any part of the highway, on any part of any small city. And I think that's something which I feel the entire infrastructure build will allow every part of India, whether it's urban, rural, whether it's any different state, to equally start developing or coming closer to equal development. When you combine that with the fact that power, energy situation is getting transformed, you have actually quite a potent power of distributed development in India. That, when you look at with regards to also the other project which I see, which is very interesting, is the ULIP program. When you look at what is being done to try to say that, every part of our supply chain data is not looked at separately, but actually looked at as one uniform way. These two aspects, if you ask me, present an opportunity to all of us in this room and all of us outside this room, all of us in our respective companies, of actually trying to say that, okay, let's go back to our drawing board. How are we operating? How are we actually solving? And when I say operating, I'm not talking of how I'm doing my HR or procurement. No. I am talking of if I am handling a product, if I am handling a solution for an area, what is it that we can do? Can we now look at is multimodal cost going to go to a cost structure lower than what it was now, because you can have double stacked, you can have high-speed trains linked to passenger trains. So the whole perspective is getting changed, and that really presents all of us in supply chain, every part, whether we are in the user or whether we are in the provider industry. Frankly, it really doesn't matter, because unless you design it together, and that is something maybe I'll cover a little bit tomorrow in the other session, where the entire design or design basis has to be done together. And that is where we really had the good fortunate, when the COVID struck, we actually sat within days with all our partners, whether there was a transporters, whether there was a warehousing agents, whether there was a forwarders, to actually design and ensure that our company, our products, our customers could continue their production, their consumption without any inhibitants. And how was that possible? With the kind of friends which we had from this industry. There is no way we could have done triple of the exports as Reliance without the kind of support we got, without the kind of guidance we got. I think that's something very, very important. And that is the way. So let us be very clear. Let us not take that learning just in terms of, so on a lighter note, I always say, it's great to be an expert at, firefighting, but that cannot be a way of life. But at the same time, the skills we've developed in this entire firefighting, let us actually make that institutionalized. Let us actually incorporate that and actually say that, okay, fine, there is no two sides of the table. Industry and shippers and government, all three can sit and say, let's redesign the supply chain for the country and not for individual companies, not for individual areas. Because only if we redesign the supply chain as a country, then the country's supply chain will win over others, and that's when the country GDP will grow, that's when the country will win. So I think that's something which we have learned through this entire last 2-3 years periods. And I think with the kind of support we have from regulatory side, from the technology side, I think we are in that cusp to really make that kind of revolution. And I really feel that the Forwarding Association, I was just saying that on the side note, I think on a lighter note, I don't think in a short while, you'll find freight forwarding itself to be a limiting term, right? Because eventually you all are doing all aspects of supply chain, and you're actually the best positioned out of the entire chain, or an entire vendor community, if you look at it, entire supply chain community, because you're the only community which actually does storage, handling, regulatory compliances, and multimodal, whether shipping or rail, all together. So if there is any kind of body, if there is any kind of organization which can actually become an end-to-end 3PL, then that is the forwarder. And therefore, you all are in that kind of very, very powerful position where you really can understand all these elements and actually implement. So I'm sure then a lot of times some of the largest 3PLs will actually be arising from this room. So wish you all the very best, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Neeraj Ambani. Thank you once again. We now have a short video from the FIATA president, Dr. Ivan Petrov, from the Bulgarian National Freight Forwarding Association. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here, but he's here with us through the convention. Can we have the AV, please?
dear Mr. Shankar Shinde, and dear colleagues from the Federation of Freight Forwarder Associations in India. As President of FIATA, I'm very delighted to be invited at your 24th Biennial Convention, Reshape, Embrace, and Search in the Digital Era. The slogan, it speaks for itself, and it sounds very fashionable. Unfortunately, I cannot be there today due to well-known reasons physically, but I will be with you all the time. The industry now is experiencing the new normal, and you understand, and you took this new normal in your slogan. And therefore, the convention, your convention also is focusing in innovative logistics in developments and solutions like paperless Fiat bill of lading, which is elaborated by Fiat recently. And through digitalization, members can save time and money and improve the security of the documents. My task to you for your convention is to see the opportunities, to research, to work on them. How the e-Fiat bill of lading, which is the only true multimodal and negotiable transport document, can be used in your corridor from India to via Iran, Azerbaijan, and Russia, and deliver results of what you decided or what you elaborated on the convention. During the convention, the physically present from Fiata side would be the newly elected ABIT chair, Mr. Tesh Contractor, who will also work with you on this digital aspect that you are delivering mostly in your convention. Best of my wishes for success, great success for your event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ivan. I hope so. We all know that our chief guest is connected with us through online. So I would request our chief guest to deliver his address. Before that, I would take this immense pleasure to introduce about our chief guest. Shri Amrit Lal Meena, IAS, CEO and MD, NICDC, BTech in Electrical Engineering and Post-Graduation Diploma in Public Policy and Management from IIM Bangalore. Shri Amrit Lal Meena, IAS, is presently Special Secretary, Logistics in Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Earlier, he was Secretary in Government of Bihar, looked after various departments, including Rural Development, Urban Development, Building Corporation. He also worked as Principal Secretary, Additional Chief Secretary in Road Construction Department, Government of Bihar, building a better and sustainable network of roads in Bihar. Roads and bridges, infrastructure projects have got massive speed during his tenure. There, he has been commendable addition of new bridges on major rivers and 4 laning of highways. Shri Meena had earlier worked as Joint Secretary in Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Government of India. He had also worked for Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. He had served as District Magistrate in 5 districts of Bihar state for over 9 years. I hope it's time for us to invite our chief guest, Mr. Amrit Lal Meena, online through your big round of applause, people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sri Shankar Shinde ji, Chairman, Federation of Freight Forwarders Association in India. Sri A.B. Vijay Kumar ji, Sri Shashi Kiran Sethi ji, Sri Neeraj Ambani ji, Sri Dushyant Bulnani ji, all esteemed participants, I am really grateful to the Federation of Freight Forwarders Association of India to have invited me as speaker during 24th Biennial Convention being held in Chennai. I was extremely keen to come and join personally, but because of certain health conditions, uh, it was not possible. So I have sought an excuse from Sri Sankar Sindeji, who was very kind to accommodate. Let me compliment the Federation of Freight Forwarders Association of India that during the COVID, an excellent management by all of you has uh, maintained the supply chains. And with the support of you all, last year, our export have been highest ever. This is possible by the effort having been put by all of you in difficult times. I am happy to note that Federation of Freight Forwarders Association of India has 28 member associations and 6,500 members. This is the whole logistic ecosystem being represented here. So for the logistics division in DPIIT, you are the real stakeholders with whom we need to have greater interaction, and we need to understand the issues being faced by the sector within country and also globally, because as you know, government is fully supporting the logistics ecosystem. Government is committed to bring down the logistics cost, to improve our logistic performance. You must have read in the newspapers the steps that are being taken by the government for improving both these factors. As earlier speakers have spoken about PM Gati Shakti, Honorable Prime Minister has launched PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan last year. It is aimed at providing the multimodal connectivity infrastructure to our economic zones. I am happy to share with you that during last about 10 months of the launch of PM Gati Shakti, as per the instructions of the Honorable Prime Minister, the National Master Plan is now up and in operation by different ministries of the central government and also by the state governments. You know, the implementation of the infrastructure project, the time and cost overrun was the challenge. The factors responsible for the time and cost overrun were the land acquisition and different form of clearances, unforeseen disruptions. And these unforeseen disruptions were primarily because of the planning related issues. So National Master Plan is a digital tool which captures all possible data layers which are required for decision making in a project formulation. So now in this National Master Plan, entire land details, forest layers, water bodies, existing infrastructure, all informations are available for the planners. So when they take up the planning of a large size connectivity and logistic infrastructure, beforehand they are aware of the likely disruptions. So either the alignments are modified, or if it is not possible to modify, then at least the clearances requirement is known well in advance, so that corrective measures can be taken well before the implementation begin. So this is definitely likely to improve implementation, and our objective is to implement the project within cost and within the time prescribed. I'm also happy to share with you that the large size infrastructure projects are being monitored through project monitoring framework. In fact, over 350 private sector projects being implemented by private sector are also being coordinated and monitored on this PMG framework. Many of the industrial parks, many of the industries being set up, the cement factories or solar parks or whatever, any large size investor who has issues for coordination with government departments, both of the central or the state government, can upload the portal on the PMG. And through this portal, the issues which are impeding the implementation are monitored on regular basis and within time resolution is ensured. So over 350 private sector projects have been monitored and the results have been very, very encouraging. I would also like to share with you that our ports are the most important link in terms of bringing the logistic efficiency. So we have, in consultation with all the port authorities, all the state maritime boards, Ministry of Railways and Ministry of Highways, identified the critical connectivity infrastructure gap, which if taken up can bring in the total potential exploitation of the ports. And such projects have been identified, have been extensively discussed with the respective ministries, Ministry of Railways and Ministry of Road Transport, and an action plan has been formulated. In fact, today only there was the third round of meeting chaired by Secretary Port, wherein all other concerned officers were present. And we are now generally ready with the port connectivity master plan. So all our ports, all major ports, all minor ports handling cargo, about 87 of them have been identified which are more important in terms of our cargo handling. So their rail, road, additional rail connectivity, additional road connectivity, wherever ROBs are required or whatever infrastructure is required have been identified and are being taken up under the port connectivity master plan. Similarly, for different sectors of the economy, whether steel sector, coal, fertilizer, cement, for bringing logistic efficiency into these sectors, the critical gap projects have been identified and are being taken up on priority. You are already aware of the multimodal logistic parks being developed by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and also the railway cargo terminals being developed by Ministry of Railway and also under NICDC. I'm happy to share with you that four issues which industry associations faces from time to time. Currently, you submit a representation to the concerned authority, then that authority looks into it, and then there is a follow-up and the resolution. Now, the logistics division in DPIIT, we have prepared a portal, ease of logistics services, and this portal will be available to all the industry associations for uploading the issues which are hampering their performance. And through that portal, one would be able to monitor the status of resolution of the issues. On this portal, apart from the industry associations, all the ministries and the departments responsible for resolution, like customs, ports, logistics division, DGFT, they'll all be connected, and all of them will be using the same portal for resolution of the issues. This very soon is likely to be made available for you for lodging the issues which the industry is facing. I'm very happy to see that on the skills and the HR, lot of discussion have taken place. I'm happy to share with you that Honorable Prime Minister has directed us to identify potential educational institutes in the country which can take up more and more courses on the supply chain and logistics. So in pursuance thereof, the Department of Higher Education has identified about 102 educational institutes which are working now to take up more and more courses. AICT, as a regulatory body in the sector of technical education, is also promoting logistic industry related courses amongst the AICT approved institutions. So a lot of work into the human resource development into logistics sector in focused manner is now being undertaken. Container shortage has been an issue. Promotion of the container manufacturing within India is being discussed extensively, and consultations have been made with the industry and also the interested manufacturers. So hopefully on this line also some better policy will come and those who are interested may explore. On the digitization of the different digital systems, tomorrow you have session on unified logistic interface platform, wherein my colleague Abhishek Chaudhary would be talking. And also on this e-logs, my colleague Mr. Sagar Kadu would be tomorrow or day after. He has a slot where he'll speak at length. I am very happy to receive the feedback about JNPT infrastructure and also on various other measures that have been taken. I would like to assure all the participants here that whatever are the issues which are affecting the performance of the sector, kindly feel free to share. We collectively will take it up with the concerned agencies and try to resolve it, keeping in view the national interest, nation as a whole approach as the top guiding agenda. Today, I again compliment you for organizing this event and giving me this opportunity. And I wish all of you happy Independence Day. And with this, I conclude my address. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sri Amrit Lal Meena ji, Special Secretary, Logistics, Ministry of Commerce, to deliver your address to online. Thank you. And now I would request Mr. Shankar Shinde to present a memento of our appreciation to Mr. Shashikiran Shetty, Chairman, All Cargo Logistics Limited. It's time for us to give a big applause, people. Thank you, sir. And now I would request Mr. A.V. Vijay Kumar to present a memento of our appreciation to Mr. Neeraj Ambani, Group President, Supply Chain, Reliance Industry Limited. Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Please be seated. Thank you. To give the conclusion talk, I would request Mr. Dushyant Mulani, Chairman-elect FFAI, to do the vote of thanks. And I would request, ladies and gentlemen, join your hands together and welcome him forward.
Yeah, good evening, friends. It's my honor to deliver vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion today of 24th Biennial Convention of FFA, coinciding with 75th year of India's independence. Thank you all for being present in such large numbers out here. It's been record of all sorts, and why not? This country is breaking all records, showing resilience, showing all measures of growth, and will be surging ahead in the decade to come. Our special thanks to Chief Guest Shri Amrit Lal Meena ji. Your address was very insightful. The plans which are made are somewhere even beyond what we can comprehend. This is the roadmap for growth, and thank you, sir. What we heard today in our esteemed guests who were here, the message is very clear that yes, past 2 years, that was real test of the country. And only after passing toughest examination, one does come out with honors. And yes, I'm sure this country is on verge of that. COVID reflected the resilience which this country has built up in logistics, manufacturing, and humanity. It was no simple task today for each one of us. And I'm saying this particularly because this is we are on verge of 75th year of our independence. Let us have great pride in our country that this country never felt shortage of any food grains, petrol, healthcare products, vaccines. Why? Because all of us were working during COVID. We even sitting at home, the wheels of economy were on. And proud to say that FFA, its members, custom brokers, freight forwarders, logistics service providers, all of them who are here, were part of that great movement to ensure that whatever was required reached each citizen of this country. Needless to say, we never faced the shortage what even the developed economies of the world have faced. So this is a proud moment, friends. Let us plan our sustenance. Thank you, Mr. Shetty. What you conveyed to us, it is a big message of Atmanirbhar Bharat required in logistics. And yes, sitting here, I can assure you on behalf of everybody, we will achieve that. Thank you, sir. The message, when we get every week, fortnightly, we get forwards that Los Angeles port, Shanghai, whichever ports across the country, there is a huge waiting time of ships. Yes, we are proud to say that all of us together here have ensured that with the infrastructure available, whether it's container freight station, faster clearances with help of regulatory agencies, everybody being there on the field, there has been no congestion at all in any of the Indian port for whether import or export. That's the biggest hallmark. Neeraj bhai, your message was very, I would say, it gave us a lot of confidence that yes, industry, manufacturing and logistics, when we work together, we can work wonders here. And at the end of it with a human touch. So yes, this is the time, let us all get together. Thank you, Neeraj bhai, for the fantastic message which you gave. WCO, this year the theme has been digital embracement. And yes, FFA's theme for the convention, all of us know, embracing digital technology, let us reshape and surge ahead. Reshape, embrace and search ahead. That is all we are going to have for next 2 days. Our business sessions have been thought out very carefully to ensure that each and every delegate who's attending this particular convention will get his actual knowledge, the insights, and what is going to come ahead. Because this is supposed to be India's decade of logistics. And we all are going to join hands. Let us cooperate, collaborate, and complement each other to create large Indian conglomerates. We want to ensure that, to show it to the world that yes, we are efficient and we will achieve the best for our citizens and the country. Before I close, a big thanks to the entire team of our office bearers who have worked hard to make this possible. Each one of them working tirelessly day in and day out. Chennai Association for their very active role. They've been at it 24/7. Thank you. And the secretariat staff, they've not slept for last 15 days, I think. They've worked really hard on this. Thank you all But finally, and all the trade bodies present out here, right from CSLA, Akai, AMTOY, the industry, the players like Mial, Mr. Manoj Singh, Mr. Abhishek Chaudhary, Mr. Lad. So it's been a tremendous cooperation from all of you that has made this convention possible. And yes, we can see that how it has manifested into a large delegate attendance. Thank you all. And before I close, most important, tomorrow we are going to have Honorable Minister for Shipping, Mr. Sonowal, coming here. The session would start sharp at 9:30. Owing to the security reasons, he's a Union Cabinet Minister. We request each one of you to assemble here by 9:15, please. It's going to be a wonderful session with him. First, once it's going to be inaugural session for the to commence the business sessions. After that, business sessions will commence. So my request to all of you, please be present at 9:15 tomorrow to be part of the Minister, Honorable Union Cabinet Minister, Mr. Sonowal's inaugural address. Thank you. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. So as he said, with this, officially we are ending our first session. But I would request, ladies and gentlemen, join your hands together for today's lunch was sponsored by Kale Logistic Private Limited. Can we give a big round of applause to them? And the tea was sponsored by Port of Antwerp. Can we give an applause to them? From the Triple AI, thanks them for their lovely support to our convention. And regarding the evening ceremony, the entertainment session, please reassemble at sharp 7:30 p.m. in the same hall here for the entertainment, cocktails and dinner. Please collect your raffles coupon from the registration counter and drop it in the box of raffles. Raffles will drawn every evening when the entertainment session is happening. Maybe you'll be the luckiest person to get the raffle. So I would request everybody to pick up your raffles from the registration counter. And tomorrow business session will start sharp at 9:15 a.m. And Honorable Sarbananda Sonowal will inaugurate the session. So I would request, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow sharp 9:15 a.m. in the same hall, we would request you to assemble by 9:15 a.m. Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your valuable support and your valuable time. Can we give a round of applause once again to all of us? Thank you so much, dignitaries. Thank you. And now, I would request all office bearers to join the stage for the photo session, please. Any names you want me to call? Nataraja, sir, please join the stage. Vinod, sir, I would request you to join the stage. Sudhir, sir. Mr. Sudhir.